Thank you for coming on our show. Welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Patricia Garcia is an inspirational humanitarian and human rights advocate. Patricia Garcia is a partnership development manager for the Institute for Economics and Peace. She's a respected humanitarian and a 2016 Australian of the Year State Finalist. For over 20 years, Patricia has lived and worked in war zones.
Wow.
She has managed and coordinated humanitarian relief and recovery programs to assist refugees and IDPs, which I think is displaced persons, in the world's longest running conflicts, including Afghanistan, Sudan and Burma. Wow, what incredible work you do, Patricia. If anyone knows about global peace, that would be you.
And conflict. Gee, can't wait to hear what you get to say about all this. Thank you so much for representing the Institute of Economics and Peace for us in this teleconference. So grateful to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
What are your thoughts about global peace? Where do we go from here? What can we do?
I'd like to say that my own personal journey started when I was encouraged to go and visit refugees who first came to Australia in the 70s. A detention centre, which was called the Villawood Detention Centre. I was sort of struck by the amount of kindness and generosity and warmth that was provided by the people towards us, as well as the Australians who came there to support the Vietnamese who had just arrived on these, as many people know, the boat people coming from the war in Vietnam. And at the same time, there were also refugees in that detention centre. It was then called a hostel because it wasn't a detention centre. There was no barbed wire or anything. It was like army barracks, and everybody would just go in and out from the hostel at that was called centre. And we had refugees also from Chile. And because I speak Spanish as my second language, I was able to assist in volunteering. And it was through the volunteering work of going to this that I learned about the importance of needing to serve others and serve community, and this strong sort of urge to want to understand the situation, particularly people fleeing war, was something that impacted on me. And I also learned this because I grew up in Sydney, where I was surrounded by lots of our neighbours who actually came from World War II refugees. And so I used to listen to a lot of the stories of my neighbours and about how many of them actually had this wonderful world, beautiful world they never wanted to leave. I think beauty of their culture and the countries, which made me think that people did not want to become, no one wants to become a refugee. No one would be in a position to even think about wanting to leave their country. And so what could we do to not have people leave their country, and how we can stop this? And that was sort of my interest then, to want to work in this area, and I became a humanitarian worker. I was lucky enough to work in many countries where there was a lot of conflict, where most of the people I was working for and serving were refugees and internally displaced people. And of all the countries I worked in, and many of the countries I did work in were very violent conflicts. I was also in Rwanda during the genocide, and I was also in Bosnia, Kosovo, and in Afghanistan after 9/11, and it's very, very tough time. And with all that, but we all know we must provide basic critical needs to all people, whether it's food, water, shelter. What struck me was that almost all refugees I met in all these countries all had the same one need that they all kept asking me: we need peace. And the word peace has always resonated with me all through that time, over those 20 years. And after finishing my work overseas, when I decided to have a break, I actually got quite burnt out. As you can imagine, I accumulated quite a lot of post-traumatic stress, and I decided to want to go back and learn more about peace. And it was through that, try to understand, analyze peace, and how to be able to support people, to empower them with the tools to be able to also build peace with their own communities. And this is now what I'm doing in the Institute for Economics and Peace, to try to use IEP's innovative research on peace to be able to apply particular types of understanding and analysis to help people to then be able to, if you like, activate peace within their own communities or their own organizations. And they do this through local projects where they're able to look at what we call in IEP positive peace, which is the attitudes, institutions, and structures that create peaceful and sustain peaceful societies. And this is more about looking at the strengths, the social, economic, political, or environment factors that actually create peace. Most people, when they think of peace, they think of peace as the absence of violence or war, conflict. IEP's view of peace is like a coin where you have two sides. One side is the negative peace, which is the absence of violence or war. And the other side is positive peace. And it is this positive peace that we want to raise awareness of and understanding, and that by applying positive peace with the communities and organizations, they will then also be able to not only build peace, but they will also be able to build stronger resilience, better environmental outcomes, in fact, improve their economic circumstances, as well as improve their human well-being. And this is where I think the courage to be kind is one of the most important aspects that brings in that what we call measure of human well-being and development, because we want to transform people's mindsets to look at peace as a positive and a tangible and achievable measure of human well-being and development. And a key to that, from my personal experience, has been the courage to be kind. And to me, it's kindness is a value that is inherent in all human beings. And for me, it's a belief that we need to respect and protect each other. And it's an understanding of the other, whoever that other is a key to I feel the need to the courage to be kind, where we put others before ourselves. I hope that makes sense.
Well, thank you for going into all of that. In this teleconference, we're trying to address and a lot of people have touched upon the rage that is present, all the injustices and everything you've seen. We don't want to not give that fierceness and rage. We don't want to suppress that. We need to give that a voice. It's a mistake to suppress that because anger is a form of communication.
Yes.
You know, and I feel it. Everyone feels that rage from time to time. If you don't, you're probably not human. So
yeah.
I guess the issue is how to stop that rage from adding to the violence.
Meaningful,
peaceful, but peaceful in a strong way, in a way that can overcome obstacles and that can create a new earth which is peaceful, which is right, which is equitable.
Yeah, I'm not saying that people shouldn't feel that way or express it. You know, it's there. We can't ignore it, as I keep saying. So yeah, the Incredible Hulk's there. You know, so, but we don't want the Incredible Hulk to destroy the entire planet in an effort to try to right the wrongs either.
So what incredible work you're doing. An Institute for Economics and Peace, what a wonderful vehicle, what a wonderful tool for studying peace and applying the principles in a very mindful, skillful manner. So thank you very much for coming and talking to us. We honor all the work that you've done in the battlefields and now perhaps out of the battlefields, but, you know, being able to analyze and maybe reflect and put somehow into motion all that you have learned.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.